Day 71 of building my space science learning platform. And today I worked on two very important things. I worked on systems. More specifically, I worked on the system of what I actually do before I study a topic. This is really important for like space-wise for this this platform because it allows me to get a really good understanding of the topic first broadly, and then I can add more detail. And that helps me a lot because I can learn concepts much easily and much faster, and I can get a better depth of understanding with less gaps, which means that I'm gonna code much better. And then I also created a system about my whole process of time management, of prioritization, of what I'm actually doing. So let me show you. So here it is. It's organized in when am I gonna do this? So each month, every day, every week. I haven't finished this, but as you see, it's getting pretty detailed. And why do I do this? Well, this is really important to understand my whole process really deeply and be aware of it, so that when I see that I'm not able to achieve a result or a goal or an outcome that I want, I can much more effectively analyze what is going wrong in my process and then modify things, experiment with things, and improve it. This is also really important to actually apply the things that I'm learning from a course, from a program, and it allows me to understand what am I doing wrong and what can I do better to achieve what this program is teaching me. For example, if this program is teaching me a skill, then I need to understand what are the main principles of this skill and how can I make my process, this series of steps, achieve that skill. Like, this is a thing that I'm gonna follow to the T. Like, I'm gonna follow it completely. And if I feel like I don't follow it, then I'm gonna reflect on why am I not following this. And that way I can iterate and improve a lot. And yeah, I'm just gonna explain a little bit how this works and what this basically is. It's really detailed, so I'm gonna try my best to explain it in a clear way. And then I'm gonna explain the pre-study that I did, the thing before studying a topic, the thing that I do. I haven't fully finished this, but I can never finish something on the first day, something this big, because I'm making hypotheses and then I'm building upon those hypotheses. I'm making mistakes and I'm improving each single day. So basically, anytime, like when I create a task about anything, when I have a problem about anything, when I make a mistake about anything, when I get an idea about a 1% improvement that I can make towards achieving a skill or a process, anything basically. Whenever I see something, I'm gonna identify what is the type of that thing. So the type could be a problem, a mistake, a 1% improvement, which means a marginal gain, a task, and basing it on this, I'm gonna do a different thing. So if it's a marginal gain, if it's a 1% task, I'm gonna define the level of competence that I have. This is according to the model of competence, which is unconscious competence. It's when you can basically do a skill without even thinking about it, and you can do it correctly. You don't make mistakes, and it's basically a habit. You're basically a master. Conscious competence is when, I mean, these are very broad intervals. You can be on the high end of the conscious competence or on the low end, and it changes a little bit. But the main thing is that here you're getting better, you're getting faster, and you're finding less mistakes. Here you're increasing the amount of mistakes that you make so that you can learn more. Here you don't even know basically that you're making mistakes, and you're usually very confident that you know the skill, but that's because you don't actually know how much you need to learn. And yeah, that's basically what happens to me always. I'm always overconfident, and I just need to remind myself that I don't know what I don't know. Then if it's another thing, if it's a task, for example, then I'm just gonna define it in less than 25 words. Just a simple definition, right? About what I'm actually thinking, like what is this? If it's a marginal gain, then I will define this, and then I will define the actual 1% task. So, and after I do this, I'm gonna identify the area, the section. Basically, it's like the category that is related to my goals. So, for example, 1% improvement can be towards YouTube. Like, I may identify that in the introduction of the video, I need to get straight into the point. And that's a 1% improvement that I can make or that I can experiment with. So I'm going to identify the area, YouTube, right? Then I'm going to come here and evaluate the priority. Is YouTube something that is aligned to my current priorities and my current focus points, what I'm currently working on? If it's not, then I'm just gonna keep the task and what the marginal improvement, I'm gonna keep it there. I'm gonna keep it on the record, on the database, for example, on Notion. But if it does align, then I'm gonna just keep going. I'm gonna see, well, if it's a task, if it's a marginal gain, if it's a 1% improvement, I'm gonna turn this into an experiment. How can I make this an experiment? And then I'm gonna define it. I'm gonna plan it as well. So basically the experiment is going to be a very specific action or tasks that I can experiment with to improve at this area that I have identified. And then by definition, I mean that I'm going to locate it in the step of the process, which means that an experiment is probably in some location of the process. For example, on YouTube, what I just said, on the introduction, I mean, that is located on the first part of the YouTube video, the introduction. Now, inside the introduction, you could have maybe the hook, maybe, I don't know what else, but you basically I'm gonna try to locate it. This hasn't been tested, like this whole thing hasn't been tested. I'm just just sharing my thoughts and sharing what I think is really good, actually works for me. Then I'm going to set the intention or the objective of doing this experiment. And actually, now that I think about it, maybe I should remove it, because an experiment is always going to have the same objective, kind of, or maybe not. So that's a thing that I have a gap on and I don't really know much about. So that's something that I need to learn more about and experiment with to get more clarity. Then I'm gonna put the exact date and time of when I'm gonna do this experiment. Now, after I have planned it, I'm gonna execute on the time and date that I have put there. On the execution, there's some mindset principles that I need to keep in mind. I haven't yet done this, but I will be doing it. And then after the execution, I'm gonna reflect. What is a kolbs? A kolbs is like a method of reflection, and it's very specific. Like, you have some questions, you can look it up on YouTube. And then after that kolbs, I'm gonna prioritize the direction. So, do I want to continue making progress on the same area? If I don't, because I believe that it's not that important right now, like it's not the most important thing, then I'm just gonna keep it on the record. So it's not here, I'm gonna keep it on the record, I think. So I'm just gonna do this and this. So now, but if it's the same area, if I still believe that this area is important, still very important for me, then I'm gonna create a new experiment, and based on the reflection. And now with the new information that I got from the reflection, like I'm gonna be able to create a much more direct experiment, and it should be really more specific, because I will have more information about what happened during this experiment and what happened when I tried to do this, and what are my mistakes, what are my problems. And then I can create another experiment that is more targeted. And then I basically repeat the cycle. I'm gonna plan it, I'm gonna execute it, I'm gonna do a new kolbs, and I'm gonna do all of this until I'm basically really good at this, at this little YouTube thing section. And yeah, that was the example I did, but this can be applied to anything, literally, because I have here anything. And that's a really good thing that I wanted to achieve. Now, how did I create this system? Well, I just thought about stuff. I've been learning. The program is I Can Study, and it's crazy. It's basically the best program in the world, I think. I mean, I haven't been in many programs, so I can't compare it, but it's so worth it. It's not even funny. It's a scam. Like, I'm stealing money from him because it's priced so cheaply for the value that it gives. I'm literally scamming him. My God, but it's so good, this program. It's crazy. And yeah, each month I will create a 30-day plan. I haven't really got into much detail into this yet. Now, every day I'm gonna set my priorities based on my performance goals, which are basically the goals that I set for each month that I do over here. And then the Eisenhower matrix. I don't know if this is well written, but it's basically the concept of urgent and important, not urgent and important, urgent and not important, and not urgent and not important. Then I'm gonna plan my tasks, yeah, each day, and then every week I'm gonna do a reflection on how am I doing, am I getting the results that I want, what is holding me back, what are my barriers, stuff like that. Okay, let's go now into the next thing that I'm gonna explain. Okay, so as you see here, there are many things, but these are from previous days. What I did today was, I also did this, I basically asked AI, a group to make, fuck me. So I basically asked AI to give me a group of keywords, and I just grouped them together, and I then created kind of like a backbone and kind of like a logic where I can then build upon some details. This is really important because if I understand this logic well, if I create really good groups, it's gonna stay in my memory incredibly well, and I'm gonna be able to remember many things from now onward, because I'm gonna have here more chunks, I'm gonna have here more chunks, I'm gonna have here details, you know. But if I can understand really well this logic and this logic and this logic, then getting to the details is going to be really easy, because the logic is there, the groups are really well formed, and that's the thing that I need to improve on right now. That's my constraint. I need to improve my grouping. So that's what I've been trying to do. Then I did a reflection as well. I did the colds as I showed earlier. I tried to find the root cause of what am I doing wrong, try to find the 1% improvement that I can make on the next try, and really try to understand how can I improve, what am I doing wrong, what can I do better. Then I did another thing. Now here I really got into more depth. This is basically the same thing as I did on the last on the whole system that I just showed you, but it's more related towards a certain technique, which is chunking, which is grouping information, as I just talked about. Now, I had a list of keywords, which was pretty big, and then I tried to make some groups out of it. And I followed a specific technique, and I actually mapped it out. I mapped out how I was doing the technique, and maybe how can I do it better. So first I would scheme and I would pre-group. Basically, here's the pre-grouping. This is where I just tried to find similarities between keywords, and I didn't think really deeply about it. I just kind of like made basic just groups that are probably not very accurate or not very good, but they serve as a basis for me now to think about them more deeply. So I will read a keyword, I will hypothesize, I will make a hypothesis on what is its core logic, what is the meaning of it, what are the reasons of importance, why is it important, this keyword. I'm going to make a hypothesis. Then I'm going to try to find similarities between this keyword and other keywords that I've read. Then I'm going to prioritize, like what reason of importance or what meaning is more important or more intuitive or more relevant to me. Then I'm gonna group the information or the keywords that I found were similar, and that's basically it. Now that I think about it, I might put this over here, but I'll see. And then here I just kept mapping things out. So this is basically the idea that while I'm bad at grouping and I'm not aware of what is the correct technique, I'm just gonna ease into it. I'm gonna do many things wrong. I'm gonna just focus on getting it as wrong as many times as possible, reflecting on it, but actually really focusing on getting it wrong, like experimenting with many different things. Just the whole objective is going to be to get it wrong so I can get more clarity, and then reflect so I can get more clarity as well. As you see here, more clarity on my processes and on my technique, And as I get more clarity, I'm gonna keep mapping out my technique, and I'm gonna do basically the same thing as on the system that I just showed you. It's gonna be really important for me to understand where I can improve and where are my weaknesses in relation to this process while doing this technique. I think this is really good what I'm doing. And then when I get more clarity, when I improve my processes and everything, I can actually maybe instantly group it, and I might just not do this. So this is basically the idea that if I'm bad at something and I don't have much clarity on how it works, then I'm just gonna do it really wrong. And then when I get better, I will just be able to do it more efficiently and much faster, because I'm gonna be more comfortable and more, maybe not comfortable, more familiar with the processes that are needed for me to make this technique correct, to do this technique correctly. And that's basically it, what I did today. That's basically it. I think I've explained it really well. I mean, maybe not really well, but I've explained it in an okay manner. And right now what I'm going to be doing is just putting the clips of that I've been recording throughout the day, and I've been just documenting my day, like what I eat, how do I plan and prioritize my tasks, what have I done. There's some time lapses over there as well. So that's basically it, and yeah, let's get started. Let's go. Okay, so I've been planning right now over here, and I put the intention, the objective, like the planning as well. And now these appear automatically over here. So I'm gonna do the pre-study, the reflection, the mind mapping after the pre-study, building upon the pre-study mind map. Then I'm gonna do another reflection to learn about like my errors and what I could have done better, and to reflect on my experiments. And then I'm gonna do some research onto how to actually start coding this and answer some questions and some doubts that I have, because I don't even know how to start. So I'm gonna do some research into that. I'm gonna try to apply what I have researched about, and then I'm gonna just keep asking more questions to AI while I take action. Then I'm gonna go to school. I'm gonna be at school the whole day, minus this thing, and then I'm gonna come back. I don't know what I will do here yet, but I will prioritize my tasks and figure it out. I'm gonna meditate, gratitude, dinner, and I'm gonna record the first part of the video that you will see. Yeah, edit and sleep. So let's get it done. Let's get started with the pre-study. It's done. And right now I need to go to school. I need to take a cold shower, and yeah, I'm gonna do that. So I'll see you in a second when I come back. Let's go. Just came back, and what I'm gonna be doing, or what I'm doing right now, is this. So I'm eating these peanuts while I'm gonna make some portions. I'm gonna subdivide the chicken that I bought, and these are gonna be 300-gram portions. Then I'm also cooking eggs for dinner and my meal for right now. So yeah, I'm gonna get this done, and I'll see you with the final meal. So here we have the portions. We got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, plus the 10, which is already in the freezer and not in the fridge and ready for tomorrow. And here we have the meal. So it's basically some avocado and the thing that I was cooking there, which was chicken breast with tomatoes, onions, and butter. So as you see, I'm finishing this already. Because yeah, I was just eating while doing other stuff like cleaning this up and all that stuff. So right now I'm gonna get this done. I'm gonna come back to school, and I'll see you again when I start meditating, I think. So let's go. Yo, what's up? I hope you're doing amazing. And right now I just came back from school, and right now I'm gonna be finishing a thing that I was doing. So I'm basically doing a process here. Well, I've supposedly I've explained this already, but yeah, I'm doing this process. I'm finishing it, and I'm finishing it, and like in 15 or 20 minutes, I'm gonna just meditate and eat dinner, and after that, I will be finishing this video and recording the explanation that I will show that I showed in the beginning. So let's get it done. Let's get doing some things. Same meal as always, as every single day. We got 12 eggs, we got sardines, we got a little salad, and some salt. I'm gonna get this done, I'm gonna record, I'm gonna edit, and I'm gonna go to sleep. So yeah, that's basically, oh my god, look at this, look at this. So that's basically today's video, and I guess, yeah, see you tomorrow. Bye bye.